Blessings, blessings. Welcome forward again, to Reasons at the Tree of Life with Grandmaster Sage Butler. Today we're going to be talking about a slightly sensitive topic because I know it's sensitive to a lot of people's interest. We're going to talk about the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in Jamaica. That is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and Orthodoxy in general in Jamaica. When Selassie I came here in 1966, right, Rasta asked for a form of worship that was significant in the emperor's life, that was indicative of the emperor's glory and his divine presence, right? Out of that, the emperor gave his church, because each emperor is the emperor not only of the monarchy, but is also the sovereign lord in the church. Understand? He's also the emperor of the church, right? And it is his church. So he brought his church to Jamaica, which is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which was slightly similar but yet different from the Ethiopian Coptic traditions. Because when His Majesty was crowned in 1930, he had both what was called the traditional Coptic ceremony, and he also had a traditional Ethiopian ceremony that represented more the traditions of Ethiopia versus the Coptic traditions. So one can examine what is the Coptic traditions that is so different from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and also what the philosophies that came to be espoused later on in the Ethiopian World Federation as an arm of His Majesty's I would say government in the modern age. So first, the Coptic Church. Now, why is it that the Coptic Church is slightly different from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church? It should be the same church. Well, the Coptic Church come under the Tahidwan order, right? Now, the Tahidwan order is said to be basically Roman philosophers and Roman scholars and the Roman system having influence over Ethiopian religious perceptions. Because for those who have not been educated in that regard, or for those who do not know or have not yet recognized, Ethiopia was the first nation within Christendom to have accepted what you'd call a Christian faith and a way of life based upon the teachings of Yeshua, what we come to call Christ, or some call through the European colonization Jesus, right? So Ethiopia was the first nation to adopt as a religious way of life what we call the new Christian nation status, as a nation under God, driven by the dictates of God, brought together by God for the purpose of a godly and harmonious life that involved the environment, that involved the people, and the church as a physical outpicturing of all of the connections in the spiritual world. So Ethiopian church and churchical perception is way different from the European perception, because Ethiopians have no emanated God, because to them the God-like principle within a man and his natural man self is separate. So the God in you don't affect the man in you, and the man in you don't affect the God in you in the Ethiopian, right? These are deep Ethiopian philosophies, right? So the Coptic conversion of all Ethiopian principles through Makeda and the new principles of Christ created the Coptic tradition, right? And out of the Coptic traditions and the religious rites that Ethiopians were under for maybe over 3,800 years of this kind of influence of this Europe-centric philosophies within their religious perception. It is far separate and apart from the Christendom that we're given. That's why it's into orthodoxy. That's why now we come to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, those like the Greek Orthodox Church, who go off a different religious template from the Western papacy-driven religious ecumenicals, right? So theosophy, which is the philosophy of God, and theocracy, the philosophy of godly government, are all Ethiopian, right? So they should know, when His Majesty brought the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, his church, to Jamaica, the issue is that a lot of Rastaman find with the church is that when young, open-minded Rasta who already has His Majesty venerated in their consciousness goes to the church, one of the main issues the Abuna cites upon baptism, and everybody in the Rasta know this, that a man have to cut is locks. Now, my question to you, is that an authentic, organic, ancient principle when Batawism is one of the sacred Ethiopian traditions where the high priest had matted hair? So how is it now that within the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and that orthodoxy within Jamaica, you're telling young, virile black men they must cut their crown, when in Ethiopia, the Batawe, the most ancient of priests, is this their appearance? Not just Mama warriors in Congos, for some people who love to espouse this, but locks came through as a symbol of African resistance through the Mama warriors in Kenya, in Congo, sorry, in Angola. But the essence of it is, let me tell you something, long before these modern images of Rastafari as these strong warriors, the Batawi in Ethiopia were matting their hair. And this is an Ethiopian appearance for thousands of years. Even Maasai women roll their hair into dreadlocks. So why is it that upon the awakening then of His Majesty's consciousness within Jamaica, and the young black male, the young black female wanting to truly connect with their antiquity and their ancient self, why is it that they're going through this? Why is it that this judgment is coming upon them, that they have to cut them locks? Is that Tahirianism filtering through orthodoxy? Is that the Roman governmental state of religious affairs interfering through their own charisma and doctrinal preferences, interfering in the natural processes of us Jamaicans being able to come to a finite, defined perception of ourselves? If Yahshua is indeed Haile Selassie I incarnate, right? And Haile Selassie I's court and Haile Selassie I government is divine, then why should I, being a true follower, believer, and subject of the divine law and order in manifestation, go against my natural law? When Haile Selassie said nature and man and spirituality is the harmonization of anything we call divine. Religion is supposed to help you grow spiritually. So your religious perception and practice is supposed to heighten your spiritual perception, so you're a more enlightened being walking upon the planet with more love and harmony. Not judgmental perception telling young black Jamaican males to cut their hair, cut them dreadlocks to appease European philosophies of Christendom within orthodoxy, and say that you are delivering us, and then blame His Majesty, and then say, this is what His Majesty brought to Jamaica. The priestical orders have run Ethiopia for many, many years, and them contend with the emperor a lot. That's why theosophy is ruled by the priest, and theocracy is ruled by the king. But a lot of the government is theosophy, is not theocracy, because these priests behind their chambers writing these ecumenical laws and rituals and rites doctrinally. That's what's governing the world of people's spiritual, religious perception. So people are still being controlled in the most sacred, most intimate space, and that's the space of your connection with God, with the divine self, with the Most High. So whether it be Coptic, Orthodoxy, Judah Coptic as a construction of the Rasta man, Bobo Shanti, 12 tribes of Israel, you understand me? Nyabingi, whatever the construction is, or the Church of Haile Selassie I, whatever the construction is, if I and I can't be I self, then I don't want nothing else. Especially from a guy who come and try to tell I, and if you cut I ear in the name of the Lord. Doesn't that sound kind of like a little slavery thing to you? You don't feel so? In my opinion, that. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't see what your ear have to do with your true and awakened self, right? So I don't see why a man try to tell us, say, if you're awakened, cut your ear off. So what is your ear? What is it, an enemy of yourself? I can tell you what it is, and I don't have to use religious perception. It's simple that this has been Not just the mama warrior symbol, as I tell you, you know. This has been an ancient symbol of our interpersonal connection with our source, our God self, the divine creation, and life itself. This has been an antenna, an electromagnetic template, an electromagnetic connecting field. We attract energy, we propel energy. You understand me? We attract and project energy. This is the completion of nature. If you don't cut your hair, it grows. If you don't cut your hair as a black man, it mats and grows. And when you don't cut your hair as a black man, it mats and grows faster, healthier, more naturally, without any form of additives. So how can a religious perception that's supposed to be about or reclamation be telling us to cut with locks? Haile never gave us that. Haile Selassie I gave us his knowledge of the true Christ, of Yeshua, of the true heart and soul. He taught us that religion is personal. He taught us that it should grow, it will help you grow spiritually. That's what the emperor actually taught. Now, what is there written in doctrines, in all religious texts and contexts, is for you and whoever is interested to sort through and seek for yourself and see if your true self is about manipulation or your true self is about being and expressing being yourself, being a living entity. See this here? I'm going to hear this. See this? I hear. You understand me? Nothing weird. Depolarize your polarized self. Enliven yourself. Come out of the boxes and the vortexes you've been placed in. That even your natural ear will give you a problem to perceive, while the other beings who bring judgment upon you is steadily looking like me. You know, so what go on? There are more dreadlock individuals outside of Jamaica than there are inside Jamaica. There are more Rasta-minded individuals outside Jamaica than is inside Jamaica. That's telling me that someone is duping you into transposing who you are into their reality and taking their unwanted selves into your reality. So while you go on religious and religiosity and philosophize, what you're doing is manifesting other people's ideals and not your own. God, our Creator, has made us all in His image and likeness. And if that image and likeness isn't natural, what is? Ask yourself the questions. Seek for the answers. This has been Jerome Sage Butler, right here at the Tree of Life, reasoning, giving thoughts, ideas, concepts, my own personal visions upon ideas. Remember that we are blessings to each other and to our entire living cosmos. You are a blessing to yourself and to everyone else. And always remember that. Always. Blessings and love. Until we meet again. Tree of Life.